What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Blerd Out. So as you know, the manga is on break this week. We're not getting a new chapter, so we're going to talk about some general One Piece news, and we're going to talk about the Game Awards. Got some cool reveals, some nice games coming out, some ones that I've been looking forward to for a very long time, ones I didn't expect as well. So a lot of cool stuff in there. But first, let's hit this One Piece news. It's a little dated, but One Piece did have a Luffy float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I think this is either the second or third time that Luffy's been there. Maybe it's just the second time. Maybe it's just the second time. No, I think it's the third time that Luffy's been at the parade, which again, it's an amazing feat to see how far One Piece has come, especially over here in America, or like just in the West in general. Whereas it used to be a relatively unknown, not popular type of manga, and now it's arguably one of the biggest things moving right now with the level of consistency it has and like how popular it is. Where you got, you know, parades, you got the Sphere in Vegas, you have all the collabs with like basketball, baseball, like One Piece is literally just everywhere. Always great to see. We also have the opening of the One Piece base shop, which is like this, basically I think it's like a local only, they might have like interregional shipping, but it's a local business, which is like a One Piece shop where you go in there and you find all kinds of cool One Piece stuff, like cool collection items, things of that nature. I know this is something Oda was super excited about. It looks like they have a lot of cool stuff in there. Like they even had some like custom TCG stuff. They had like the custom cards, things like that. They also have like some frames from the Wit remake there. Like they have a lot of cool stuff there. They even have this, it's a running video that they have that was done by Ishitani and I think Kisuke Mori, where it's just as like a rolling video in the shop of just the Straw Hats moving around this city. And it looks so good. Because I mean, think about Fan Letter's style. The way Fan Letter was done in its entirety, that's what it looks like. That's the kind of energetic motion and feel it has to it. It's so cool. Like I really wish that they end up adding, I guess I should say, more of these, specifically over here in the West. Like it'd be really cool to have one of these here that we can go visit. But again, just another cool thing for One Piece. Now there are rumors that One Piece is going to have a collab with Nike in the near future, where it's going to be like hats, shirts, jerseys, like a few cool things here and there. And One Piece has been doing a lot of stuff with sports lately. Like I said earlier, like they were sponsored with the Clippers, they were sponsored with the Lakers, they were sponsored with the Dodgers. Like they've had so many cool things going on. So now it looks like they might be doing a Nike collab. I think they have a Puma collab already. So cool stuff on that end as well. Now dipping more into the anime manga side of things. Although we are on break, this week Shonen Jump teased that there'd be a special announcement for One Piece at Jump Festa. And there's always like big announcements at Jump Festa for One Piece. Like that's a really big time for a lot of new One Piece content to come out. But they're saying it'll be something special. So this should be like something new stacked on top of what's already coming to Jump Festa for One Piece. A lot of times this ends up being a new movie announcement. I think we were about due for a movie, and if they really want to do something cool, of course, everyone is hoping for a God Valley movie. Now, if One Piece does a God Valley movie, legendary. But I don't know if we would be far enough in the manga, or if, I don't know the logistics of how that would work. I mean, I guess for Film Red, we ended up doing like Gear 5. So I can't say that God Valley is too far out of the question. And that's probably the most anticipated type of movie we could get, is like a canon in story movie, similar to how like Demon Slayer and JJK have been moving. Something like that for One Piece would be insane. Also note that we're getting a new color spread and magazine cover drawn by Oda. So when One Piece comes back next week, we're going to have a color spread and we're going to have the magazine cover. You know, those things always go hard. I'm excited. I think we just got a color spread, so getting a new color spread this fast is really, really insane. But I'm here for it. I love color spreads. I absolutely love color spreads. And then as far as the anime goes, so we know that the anime is going on break at the end of this year before they switch over to their seasonal, like 26 or so episodes per year type movement. and I believe that kicks back off in April of 2026. But we've got the names for the last episodes. We've already gone through 2 of them, so the only 2 left are 1154 and 1155. 1154 is going to be the truth behind the secret plan, Vegapunk's declaration of victory. And then 1155 is the promised horizon at long last toward the long-awaited Elbaf. So I think 1154 is essentially going to be the hockey knot. That's where Emmett pulls the knot from Joy Boy, uses it to push all the Gorosei back and save the crew. And I think 1155 is going to be the crew sailing from Egghead to Elbaf. We should get the Kuma and Bonnie horizon moment in that episode. I think that's going to be a really powerful episode to end on, and a really solid cliffhanger. It's also been revealed that the voice for Joy Boy is going to be Luffy's really OG voice actor, which is just a cool detail in general. I think Luffy's voice actor from like the Romance Dawn era, so that's just a nice little touch they added. But that's the One Piece news. Like I said, a lot of good stuff happening, a lot of good stuff on the way. We'll be seeing a lot of stuff in December for One Piece, and of course, on our end here at the channel, we're going to be doing our top 30. I think this year we're going to try and do a top 30 of all time. So be prepared for that. But let's talk about the Game Awards a little bit. When it came to the awards, they went pretty much how I expected, and Clear Obscure Expedition 33 swept. I mean, they cleaned house. I think they had, 12 nominations and 9 actual wins? And that's insane for like this. A lot of people don't want to call it an indie game. It essentially is a new IP. It's fresh. It doesn't have like prequels or sequels. It doesn't have an ongoing series. Like this Expedition 33 really just came out of nowhere and just dominated. And I mean, it's such a good game. I haven't finished it myself. I'm probably 2/3 of the way done, maybe a little more than that. I've been loving it so far. It's one of those games where I really have to sit down and just make out some time to play it, because it's not something you want to just like play for 30 minutes. You kind of want to get into it. And I mean, I love it. I was afraid of like the parry mechanic system. I got accustomed to that. I like turn-based combat either way, so that's what kind of got me into it. The visuals are stunning, the music is stunning, the characters, I love them, they're stunning. It's just such a well-made game. And this is a game I think it's made on like a $10 million budget that obviously made that back and then some. It just swept. And you have things like Silksong that also came out that are amazing games in their own. I think you really couldn't go wrong either way going between Silksong and 33. I think 33 had more time to sit with people, and it's more accessible to everyone. Whereas Silksong, you kind of have to know what you're doing to play Silksong. Silksong isn't something you just jump into and you're like, oh yeah, I love it. A lot of people that initially got it off of hype, I think they complained about the difficulty. They complained about kind of just the gameplay and how it didn't really fit the way they wanted to play. And I mean, that's Hollow Knight and Silksong in a nutshell, is that it's a very specific type of game. Like, it's not just a platformer, it's deeper than that. And you have to want to commit to playing it. Like, you have to want to learn how to play the game. The game doesn't just play itself, you have to want to learn how to play it. So I can see how, with the shorter time span and just the way the two games play, I can see how 33 won a lot more than Silksong would have. I think if they had a similar time, and maybe if Silksong wasn't as, I guess, difficult as some people say it is, it probably would have had a stronger chance. Overall, 33 just cleaned out. And there's a lot of people complaining that, you know, they shouldn't have been allowed to win that many awards, or they shouldn't have been put in that many categories. But I mean, like, for this OG game, this OG series to start, and to come out as strong as it did, to do what it did to the gaming community as a whole, I don't see why not. Like, why not give them their flowers for making an excellent game? It's not to say that the other games nominated aren't worthy. It's just Expedition 33 did something different. Did something that no one was expecting. I think that's the thing they have over Silksong, is that people expected Silksong to be fantastic, and it was, and it is. Expedition 33 is a dark horse, and people love the dark horse. People love to root for the underdog. I'll tell you that. As far as reveals, honestly, I didn't care for, I would say, 80% of what got revealed. There was some cool stuff. The new Star Wars game. We got a new Last Republic game. That looks pretty dope, but I think they said that's not even going to be conceptually ready till 2027, so there's not a whole lot happening there. But as far as like games that I cared about, I knew that there would be a Tomb Raider reveal, and I love Tomb Raider. Very specifically, the new reboot of Tomb Raider starting in 2013, where they had essentially the younger Laura with Camilla Luddington. That era of Tomb Raider is my favorite, with Rise of the Tomb Raider being one of my favorite games of all time. So when they said that there'd be a new Tomb Raider announcement, I was so hyped. And they made me wait like, I don't know, like 2 hours, I think. They said it would be happening so fast. I waited like 2 hours for the reveal, which is annoying, because I think they were definitely farming up that like hype. But we got there, and it was not what I expected. So instead of like a direct continuation to what we had, so like essentially banking off of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we're jumping ahead a little bit. Like we're doing a big time skip to what seems to be essentially what modern day Laura was. Now we're getting 2 games. One of them is more or less a remake of Laura's first game. The first one being Legacy of Atlantis. And that's the first one that's going to be dropping in 2026. So it's like a reimagining of her 1996 debut game. It's like they're taking that old game, they're bringing it into modern light. And then the second one is going to be 2027, Tomb Raider Catalyst. Now I think Catalyst is going to be a time skip of the previous series. So it's time skip from Shadow of the Tomb Raider into basically a new era of Lara Croft. One of the things that I kind of had expectations for what was going to happen here, and these games did not follow my expectations at all. This is not where I thought they were headed. I think one of the things that I kind of miss is that I liked the era they were building with Laura in the last few games, where it's like it's not necessarily modern day Laura, it's a younger Laura still trying to figure things out, but still able to do things incredibly well. I thought her design was fantastic. I thought the feel of the game was fantastic. We're jumping to an era of Lara Croft where she's more confident and just completely into what she's doing. So we've kind of escaped this era of discovery and entered this era of fun, I would say. Where like Laura knows what she's doing, she's having fun with it now. Like it's not as perilous as it felt in the earlier games. And I feel like I like that. Like I feel like I kind of like that feel of like Laura didn't fully know what she was doing or how she would do it, but she knew she wanted to get it done. I think it added a cool element to the game where like you're building on her character as you're adventuring in this world. With the new one, I'm a little bit afraid that there's not going to be a whole lot of development to her character. It's just going to be us adventuring. And I think that dips more into like, you're almost, I mean, I guess I would say this came before Uncharted, but you're starting to feel like an Uncharted game where Drake doesn't really evolve in every single game. Sometimes he just exists. And I think that's still fun. Just, I like how Tomb Raider was giving us, you know, advances in story, advances in character as we explored. That's what I really loved about the reboot series. Obviously, I can't judge this too early because we're just getting teasers of it. Like there's still time, and I'm still gonna play it because I still love Tomb Raider. Just not what I expected. And of course, there's a lot of controversy about her design because while it is a step back to the original Laura, which if you know Laura and you know Tomb Raider, the original design was very, very specifically built. Like it had a very certain look to it. And this one is supposed to be a reimagining of that. It's obviously not as exaggerated. Like it's more exaggerated than the reboot is, but less exaggerated than the original series is. It's an interesting middle ground. I mean, I don't mind it. There's some people saying it's too much. There's some people saying it's too little. The area we are in with games and how certain characters look in games is really, really terrible. People will base an entire game's playability off that, which I think is really stupid, especially if it's something minuscule. But people will be stupid. You can't stop that. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. Actually, 2 things I wasn't expecting. So they're doing another Control. I probably mentioned it once or twice. Control is also one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love Control. I think I own Control almost as much as I own Skyrim, being like how many versions I've bought. I have Skyrim on like every console, I have every version of it. I love Skyrim, I love Control. In the same vein, I have it on every console. I have many different versions of it. Like I just love that game. And they're doing a sequel to it. I don't know if it's technically a sequel. It's a Control game. So that's Control Resonant. Now, instead of playing Jesse in this one, we're playing Dylan, who is our brother in the first game. So it's kind of like a tossing of the baton from one of the siblings to the other. So I am super excited about that. If it's anything like Control, if it has any of the kind of like control schemes, I'm absolutely going to love it. I did not know that they were planning a new Control. I am so here for it. And then the other game I wasn't expecting is a new Divinity. I actually love the Divinity games. Divinity Original Sin, Divinity Original Sin 2. I haven't played Baldur's Gate. I know they're pretty similar. I think at the end of the day, I would like Baldur's Gate. I would probably prefer to play Divinity based on what I've seen from both games, but I can't fully say because I've never played it. But they're making a new Divinity. That immediately has my interest. I will be playing that as well. So we got Tomb Raider, Control, and Divinity. I believe Control and Tomb Raider are coming out in 2026. I don't know if they had a date for Divinity yet. I don't know if they've made a plan for when that's actually going to drop. If you've never played Divinity, it's basically a Dungeons and Dragons style role-playing game. You have a squad of 4, you pick your class, whatever your race you are, and you explore through the story, through these towns. A lot of free autonomy, a lot of free exploring. It's such a fun game. Fantastic to play with other people. Like if you can get 4 people to just squad up and play this game, I would recommend it. It's so good. And this actually brings me to my final topic, because speaking of Divinity, which is going to be on this list, I want to talk about my top 10 games of the past decade. And this decade has been really good to me as far as gaming goes, like really good. To be honest, there are a few that don't make it in this decade that I would love to shout out, but I just figure the past 10 years I think covers it. Before I get into my top 10 list, I want to do some honorable mentions. It's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn, Breath of the Wild, Spider-Man and Miles Morales, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the first Divinity Original Sin. All those came out within the last decade. All fantastic games, all have consumed so much of my time, but they just don't beat out the top 10 list. So at number 10, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have never played a Final Fantasy, although, well, to be fair, I played Final Fantasy 13 for about 20 minutes. Hated it. And I don't think 20 minutes is enough to actually figure out if I like a game or not. I just remember I did not like what I had played so far. Never touched it again. So when I heard about Final Fantasy VII and that I was getting a remake, I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it here. Everyone says that Final Fantasy VII is probably like the best of the Final Fantasies. I was like, this would probably be the best spot to land on as far as like playing. So I played through the whole thing, absolutely loved it. Had a fantastic time. I got to learn about Cloud and Tifa and other characters that I'm sure I care about. Just a really good game overall, and it kind of got me interested in playing some of the other games. So I think I have Final Fantasy 16 that I've yet to play, but I do have, so I'll get into that whenever I get some free time. At number 9, Divinity Original Sin 2. So like I said, I love Divinity in whole. The first one makes the honorable mentions. The second one I put so many hours into. The second one I actually had like a few different playthroughs with a few different squads, all different, all fun, all great times. Like I really enjoy what this game brings to the table. The co-op elements, the elements of gameplay, the look is fantastic, the humor, the design. I fell in love with the world, the game. And I'm always down to play that game. Like I will always start a new save. I'll always jump into it again. It's such a good game. So when I saw the 3, I was like, yes, we locked in. Coming in at number 8, Expedition 33. And I understand it's kind of low on a top 10 list, especially for how impactful I was saying it was not too long ago. And I still think it's fantastic. I think one of the things that keeps it at 8 and not higher is that I just haven't finished it yet. Whereas I think every other game on this list I have finished. I think Expedition 33 is actually the only game on this list I have not finished yet, which is saying something that it made the list without being done. But I had a fantastic time with Expedition 33. Like the story is fun, it's engaging, which is one of the hardest things I find myself trying to capture in a game is the story. And the fact that it has me drawn in, I think, says a lot about what it does for me as a game. The gameplay, I love turn-based combat. The look, the style, the design is fantastic. They have a character that floats while she travels. That's an instant win for me. An absolutely fantastic game. In at 7, Unicorn Overlord. I don't know if you guys have ever played like the Vanillaware Atlas games where they're essentially 2D RPGs where all the art is like hand drawn. It's just really beautiful hand drawn art. Lots of cool elements, lots of really cool characters. If you've never touched them, like you have Dragon's Crown, you have Unicorn Overlord, you have 13 Sentinels, you have Odin Sphere. These games are so fun. I've played all the ones I just mentioned. I've played before. All fantastic, all excellent games. I would recommend any one of those games to play. And the most recent one I played is Unicorn Overlord, and I loved it, like I figured I would. I still go back to that and just play, you know, there's not really a free style of play, but there's like a Coliseum and like a battle mode where I can just run my teams through, have them play a couple times, buff them up, things like that. And again, the artwork is just fantastic. Coming in at 6, Nier Automata. Now, I didn't know that this came out in the last decade, to be honest. When I first started playing this game, I thought it was a lot older, but it just looked so good. Like, Nier looks fantastic. Nier looks amazing. And I first started playing this on PlayStation 4, I think. Was it PlayStation 4? I got it on there first. Or was it Xbox? I got it on one of like the third gen consoles, I want to say. And essentially played it up from there. Such a beautiful game. Beautiful soundtrack. 2B is a legendary, iconic character for a lot of good reasons. The story is really good, really introspective. There's a lot of replay value. There's a lot of just side value. There's so much cool stuff in Nier. And I have the Nier Replicant, which I believe is actually the first in the series that I've never played. I have it. I haven't had the time to hop in that yet. But I will be playing that at some point as well. Coming in at 5 is Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight did something for me that I didn't really see in a lot of games, in that it gave me a really good challenge with a really, I don't want to say like I turn my mind off when I play this game. It puts me in a zen state where like I can play Hollow Knight and I just lock in and I just play. I don't have like a set place where I'm going. I don't have like a set goal immediately. I'm just playing Hollow Knight. I might just walk around the entire map, killing stuff, collecting shells. I might go complete bosses. I might do side stuff. It gives me the elements of a sandbox while also, you know, like a Souls-based platformer. Like it's got so much crammed into it. The story's great. Everything that goes into Hollow Knight and, you know, essentially Silksong is just so well done. And I mean, this is like when I first started my streaming, or back when I used to stream, Hollow Knight was one of those things I streamed, and I would just spend hours on it. Just like hours and hours and hours. Hollow Knight's another game where like I have it on PC and I have it on console. So like whenever I just have some free time, I just want to sit down and play something, I'll play Hollow Knight. Coming in at 4, Persona 5. Persona 5 was a changer in the way that I really hadn't played a lot of JRPGs. I really hadn't played any of the Persona series. I didn't know anything about the Persona series. So coming in at 5 was kind of like a jarring experience, because I remember Persona 5 being like teased and released, and everyone was like, well, you know, you got to play this one, or if you haven't played like Persona 4 Golden, if you haven't played Persona 3, there's so many good entries, so much good music. You know, there's so much. I can't possibly go back and play every single one up until 5 to like catch up, because 5 was coming out like right when I learned about it. I was like, I don't have time, or I really don't want to like go buy 4 games and learn them. So I just jumped head first into 5, and it was fantastic. I still stand by the idea that the start is somewhat slow. And when I go back to do replays, I'm kind of like, ugh, I would love to play Persona again, but I don't want to trudge through the beginning. I just think it's kind of slow. But like the entire gameplay, the soundtrack, the ambiance, the feel of that game is so good. And you can tell when a game is really good and really loved, because they not only do they re-release it, they re-release it, add stuff. They'll put like, because they have like Persona 5 Reloaded, Persona 5 X, Persona 5 Royal. Like Persona 5 has so many spin-offs and iterations. And at some point, I probably will try and hit some of them. I think I have Persona 5 Royal. which has like, it's like the main game with some new content added. I'll have to go back through and play that again just so I can get all that content. But man, I remember playing Persona 1 and just being like, I didn't know that this, I didn't really understand that this side of gaming existed at that point. So that was a shock. Coming in at number 3, Control. Control was another game where I didn't really know what it was about. And I still don't really have like a full grasp on what they call the Remedyverse, where it's like Alan Wake and what he kind of deals with, dipping into Quantum Break, into Control, like the entire world of Remedy they're creating. I really didn't know what was going on here. I just saw Control, and I think I saw, you know what, it was the floating mechanic that I was talking about with Expedition. I saw that Jesse had a floating mechanic, and I was like, I'm into that. How do I get that? And so I got the game and I played the floating mechanic, and I love it. It's a really good game. Visually, it's fantastic. The gameplay is fun. I like the power system. The story is intriguing. It's got so much side stuff. It's got replay value. This was another game that I streamed. This is when I streamed. I didn't have a mic. I didn't have any kind of like actual setup. I just streamed raw from the PlayStation. That's all I had. And I had such a good time. Of probably all the games on this list, I think Control is the one I recommend the most. Because I think it has a really good balance of entry level and intermediate and expert level players. Like, you don't necessarily have to be great at games. If you are good at games, I think it makes it a little bit better. But it's a game for everybody, really. And even though I don't know much about the Remedyverse, I think I kind of caught on to some things as I played along. Now, this game, you probably would have to pay attention a little bit and really immerse yourself in the lore to fully get everything, but I think it's worth it. Coming in at number 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like I said, the Tomb Raider series is one of my favorites of all time. Rise of the Tomb Raider is my favorite of the reboots, my favorite of the Tomb Raiders, and this is the one that sits atop the throne. I don't know what they put in Rise of the Tomb Raider to make it so good, but it just works. Like the level design, I love the hub world that we kind of have, where it's like, it's not a hub world exactly, but it's kind of like a general place where I find myself after like a mission, or find myself going back to. The voice acting, honestly, all the details and graphics that they do for Tomb Raider. This is when like we were stepping into like 4K, 8K technology, just the effects that they would put into it, the tress effects, the way that they did her hair, like the way that they do like some of the motions, the way they do a lot of the stuff in Tomb Raider, it just looks fantastic. The story is really good. And this is that era of Tomb Raider that I was talking about, where Laura is confident in doing things, but she still doesn't really know everything. She still doesn't know all the things that are going on. She's still trying to figure out some stuff. So like there's character development, there's story development. There's so much packed into Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it's just built all well on top of each other that I've replayed Rise of the Tomb Raider so many times. I have different versions of it. I have the 20th anniversary version. I have Xbox version. I have a PC version. I have the VR version. I love Rise of the Tomb Raider. I cannot state that enough. But at number 1, we got Cuphead. I can't iterate how much I love Cuphead. I think there's just something about this game that sits well in my heart. I think between the art style, the gameplay, the feel, the complexity, the difficulty, like all of that just comes together so well. A fantastic, beautiful experience. I've played Cuphead solo. I've played it with teams. I've replayed it multiple times. And I just find myself having so much fun every single time. Like, I think one of the things that constantly brings me back into it is that I have so much fun no matter how difficult it is. I think when I played it the first time, and I would constantly lose, I was never mad about it. I was never upset about losing. I was just like, all right, I get to do it again. I'm just like, here goes. I would just go back into it, and I would just love it every single time. The only boss that makes me upset is Beppy the Clown. I hate Beppy. I loathe Beppy the Clown. Everything else in this game, I absolutely love and adore. Like the dragon level, that's I think at the time, like when Cuphead was really big, that was one of the most difficult levels people would say. That level was hard. I love that level. I came to really, really love that level. I think one of my favorites is Baroness von Bonbon. I think that level is super cute, but also just so well designed. And I mean, all the levels are so creative. They're so interesting. The bosses are so fun. Like I think about that game and I'm happy because it's such a good game. And I don't think I've had any game that's had me feeling that way so consistently. So like just each time I load it up, I'm just having such a good time. But that's my top 10. And that's gonna wrap up the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.